everybody, this is Mark, Eddie, George from Attackhead. Just making a quick video here for you to answer some questions we've been getting from people, talking about our new release, Voices in the Dark, Second Attack, out January 25th. You'll be able to get that on attackhead.com, twistedhillbillyrecords.com, and through 101 Distribution. Basically, we're going to go through a few things that we've had people ask about, mainly about the recording of the disc and what were some of our thoughts behind the process of the songs and how we actually laid some of the tracks down. The album has 11 songs on it, 10 songs and one intro. Essentially, it's a revamp of our 2008 release, Voices in the Dark, but this one has 2 additional songs, all new artwork, and it was revamped with much better equipment and a better studio to record it in. Why don't we go through a little bit of the recording process. Obviously, we had to go back to Knoxville, Tennessee, which some of you might have seen our video on our trip to Knoxville already. We went back to Knoxville to Twisted Hillbilly Studios and recorded the record back in April. I made a second trip in August to do some of the mixing, and then the CD was finally finished sometime in November and sent out to press. Eddie, why don't you go through a little bit of the process behind some of your bass lines. People have been asking about, what your inspiration was for some of that and what some of your background is as far as, laying down the lines and what method you used and everything else back in Tennessee.
You have to start with background. I came from a very thrash metal background. Been playing bass since I was 15 years old. Tom Araya and Cliff Burton, dude. Period. That's it. Tom Araya bass. Can't go wrong. As far as my approach, I got thrown into this pretty quickly. I was given about 2 months to learn the tracks, and then we were going to fly out to do them. The hardest part about the record was getting on the plane, because Mark told me, guess what, we're taking a song off the record, and we're going to do a new song that you haven't learned yet. So I have to say, though, that in the end, that Possessed ended up being my favorite song of that whole recording, because that song was like the most aggressive song that we did. It sounded so bitchin' when it was done. Like, I got goosebumps. I'm still getting them. Like, I love that song because it just sounds so heavy. But throughout the whole record, I was just trying to incorporate more rhythms and more backbone to the song. Tracks I had heard prior to my recording, it was a lot more about flash, and I'm not a flashy bass player. I just want it to be structure. I want it to be solid. Whatever Steve and I do is going to be right on the money no matter what. These guys could go for a walk and the song wouldn't lose its focus at all. And that was really what I was trying to capture on the whole recording. Making sure that shit sounded heavy. It's really what I was after.
I think that happened. And everybody who doesn't know, our background and our sound is essentially old school thrash. If you're into Slayer, Testament, Megadeth, Anthrax, Exodus, those types of bands, that's what you'll get with our latest recording. George, why don't you go through a little bit of the process of, laying down the tracks, how we did it, what equipment we used, even though we weren't able to bring our equipment. Obviously, we had.
It was a good experience. We used a PV triple XL head. We had it mic'd up, and it had some some built-in compression on it. And it had a good heavy sound. Wayne and Jimmy were great recording. They flew out of Orlando, came down. They all used Pro Tools, HD live rigs. It was just pleasant. Everyone had a good attitude. We were in a log cabin, and the acoustics were really nice, and everything was laid out. We got to just chill and get the record done. No pressure. We just went through, got everything laid down, and it was just really easy to do. I think with the songs I liked, I'd say Rebirth and Possessed. They were written when I joined the band, and so I had a lot of input in the way those went, and they just it was kind of like an evolution of the band. With Eddie joining in with the driving bass, it really kind of spiced it up, and it was a fresh start for me for new material. So that's what I enjoy the most out of it.
For those who don't know, when we went back to Tennessee in April, our label studio wasn't quite finished yet. So we had Jimmy Turner from Third Rail come up from Orlando, Florida. and Twisted Hillbillies engineer as well, Wayne Torville. And we are label owner, Hillbilly Mo as he is called. We rented a cabin out in the Smoky Mountains in Tennessee and essentially set up shop out there for a week, and the band, Wayne, Jimmy, and Mo all lived at the cabin and recorded by day and partied by night for a week basically, and got all the tracks done. Jimmy brought up a big mobile recording rig, and we used a lot of Twisted Hillbillies actual amps and drum kit and everything else, because we obviously couldn't bring all that stuff back with us from California to Tennessee. At the end, we got everything rough mixed, and it went back with Jimmy to Orlando, and he's really busy with outside projects, and we were essentially waiting until our label Twisted Hillbilly got their new board and studio set up, and after several months of waiting for the board with problems back at the manufacturer, they got the new board, and then it was kind of a learning curve with the brand new board, and our album was essentially the first album that was mixed on this board, so it was, you know, a lot to learn on that new Pro Tools board. So when I went back in August, Jimmy met up there. He came up from Orlando again, and we all sat down and started going through the album, and essentially at the end ended up with what we have here. Some of my favorite points of the whole album and the recording was, obviously, I've got a great team here. It took a long time. Me and Steve, our drummer, who is not here at the moment, we've been together since 2003 or 2004, I believe. So we really have that connection and a teamwork aspect. He knows what my riffs are like, and he knows exactly how to do it. In fact, Mo is commenting at one time how the drums are just like constant fills and everything, and there's just like not really a regular beat anywhere on the album, and that's the beauty of it, is that there's so many things going on that there's a little bit for every instrument. George came in, I don't even remember.
Spring 2007.
2007, I was going to say 06. And then Eddie, of course, about a month before we got on the plane, so he had the
February 1st is my 1-year anniversary.
So yeah, there you go, coming up here in a couple weeks. So
not even there yet.
So I'm going to put a photo up. In fact, you'll see it right here. And that photo is of all of us back in the cabin in Tennessee. And you know, what else can I say? It's a great record. Be sure to pick it up. It's all over the place, all over radio, internet, everywhere you look, you'll find it. Just type in Attackhead and you'll find our stuff. Be sure to go to attackhead.com, check out our site. We have a MySpace site, but who really gives a shit about MySpace anymore? Facebook is Facebook/Attackhead, Twitter/Attackhead, and that's about all there is. We'll be out this summer playing all over the place. We've got a show in Las Vegas out in June, I believe it is, a couple of days show
June 10th.
Out in Las Vegas. And there's a lot of stuff, a lot of irons in the fire, but not a whole lot set in stone yet. So keep an eye on the shows section of our website, and we will see you all out there. Until then, until later.
Fuck yeah!
See you on the road.